Well, hello there, guys. Welcome back to some more Strategic Command. We have a lot that has happened during the last turn that I think I should explain in full. Let's get this mic in position. But essentially, the important thing here is that we gave Trento to the Italians and Torino. And we did this only for one reason. It's not this is totally ahistorical, but the fact was the Italians were getting very close to joining our friend Tortuga Power, and I felt the best thing to do is go ahead and just make sure they don't join the war. I think this stops them from joining the war, but I can't be 100% certain. Nonetheless, I have other ideas about what to do here. We can see that over here near Katowice, there's almost no Russian attacks. I want to push the Russians at Koenigsberg, but as well as doing that, I want to make sure that we have this line completely covered on the western front. We've also got some additional units for the Ottoman Empire, and we want to bring them over here to Alexandretta, and eventually use operational movement to get these guys elsewhere. Now, I'm thinking of moving them over by the front lines with the British, get to Egypt. I think that would be the best case scenario. We could see that he's already actually set up at Al Arish. I would not usually make a move like this, but I want to surround him at Al Arish here, despite the damage. I think it's essential we try to break through. So let's keep going. We will take damage on the attack, but hopefully we'll come out on top. So once again, another attack, and just being extremely aggressive in this area. I also want to bring down our generals. Be nice to bring them down even farther. And let's just take a look at all these different areas we could take on. Almara over here. See a lot of British units. If we could go into the Far East and take it, I think it would be quite amazing. Now, leaving Baghdad, not the greatest idea in the world. I hope he doesn't have any units there. In the meantime, we'll try to reinforce our existing Ottomans and keep them strong. Keep them at least on the front lines and keep the Russians away as far away as possible, of course. I'll do the same here in Trench. Actually would like to rotate it up to the north so that it's facing those advancing Russians. And I'm going to start moving these guys out this way. Even the guys south of Batutin, we're going to provide units for. Now what we need to focus on, I would love to break through Serbia. I just don't see it happening. The enemy here is quite strong. Obviously, our Austro-Hungarians have taken a bit of a morale hit after giving those areas to the Italians. What we can at least do is strengthen our Austro-Hungarians to try and stifle any sort of Serb assault. It ain't going to be easy, it ain't going to be pretty, but it's what we can do now. The other option is to try and go on a crazy attack against these Serbian lines, and I don't see that being a good idea. So I'm going to max reinforce there. I'm also taking a look at the east. The east is where I feel we could actually do really, really well, and actually potentially even break through the Russian lines. A lot of people have called them paper tigers. I tend to agree with that analysis. So let's go ahead, start attacking straight from Tarnov. Unfortunately, some of these other units are simply going to have to reinforce, just get stronger, essentially. I might actually move the unit from Tarnov back, and the only reason I would do this is to bring an additional unit forward, even this 7 over here. But I think in some cases we're just going to have to reinforce. Potentially even bring in other forces from other fronts to really try and strengthen this front. See, these are the areas we need to look for, these, I guess, weak points in the Russian front, and hopefully we can exploit them. So there we go, got them down to 2. I mean, one more effective combat unit here would utterly annihilate these guys. That's the frustrating part. Let's see. You know what? We might be able to actually destroy one of these units with the detachments. Maybe not. No, I thought for sure we'd be able to do it. It just doesn't look like that's going to be possible. Over here, we could also do some damage on the east. You know what? Let's try and see if we can't make Tortuga shake in his boots a little bit. If we do this, if we can at least force him back on a few of these fronts, maybe we can make him think twice. So again, another attack. I'm even going to send in the cavalry. Got those 2nd Cavalry Corps doing a wonderful job. And I'll move the 2nd Cavalry Corps up here just to sort of defend the rail line. We're opening up the front temporarily now. just to attack these guys. So there we go. One Russian army destroyed. That's something to feel somewhat good about, but we still have a lot of work, as you can imagine. I've still got my units at Koenigsberg. We've got an airfield here. My concern is that the Russians will try to cross the river to get near Koenigsberg, but I feel like we could respond pretty well to them if they do that. Possibly even keep them off our backs entirely. Before that, though, let's take a look at the northwestern front. This is, of course, where the Belgians have managed to retake a few areas, specifically Antwerp. So I'm going to try and take them out, but it looks like the French may have already gotten their trench warfare bonus. I think that's absolutely possible, as they're doing pretty damn well right here in the realm of trench warfare. There's still a few things we could do, sort of weaken them, and I think that's going to be quite important. But right now it looks like we're going to have to weaken these Belgian units, switch them out for some cavalry. And again, it's just a Belgian detachment. I'm trying to find a way for us to come out on top and actually do some damage to this guy, but I feel like this is a huge risk. It's also in the enemy's zone of control, so I'm not going to push my luck. At least not for now. We'll keep him here. We'll entrench further. And really just try and keep this area completely impassable. I'm also going to take a look at our research to see how that's doing. And we must take a look at our naval ships, because I think that's one area where we could potentially do very, very well, is getting our Navy to destroy all of those Russian ships. Maybe give us just a little bit more breathing room. Welcome to the front, and welcome to January 1915, by the way, to our new arrivals here. And look at that, we're even rebuilding the Navy. Absolutely, man. I think anything is worth it to try and wipe out the rest of these Russian ships. Let's go ahead and knock them out, and then, of course, try to get the hell out of here. In fact, I'm going to try to send one of these ships north. That's not going to affect any of the enemy trading. We're going to have to send some of these submarines west. So we're heading past Copenhagen, past Denmark, and hopefully we get up into the big bad ocean. First, though, let's go ahead and get a kill with the U-35. He's already gotten a kill before, so I am quite proud of this guy. Not to mention we've got more than a few other ships in this area, so I am going hunting for Russian ships at this point. And there we go. Some of them, of course, in at port. We could go straight to port and attack them, but look at that. We've already actually found a Vidny destroyer here. Let's take her out, guys. We need those national morale points, and we need to show the Entente that we are not out of this naval combat yet. Actually going to go ahead and move this unit back to a naval port, try and repair him. We've also got another sub moving up, and this guy I'm actually going to move westwards. I'm guessing the enemy is going to be really in control of this area, defending this area. But let's bring in our destroyers and see if we can't damage some of these French subs. These are French submarines right here. I would love to do some damage here, but I'm actually going to keep this guy right here. He's going to just end up getting himself hurt. So we'll stay here this turn and decide what to do the next upcoming turn. And once again, get these guys into base. Just looking at other parts of the front where we could potentially break through. Could do operational movement with this guy, since it doesn't look like the French are pushing in this southern front. So I am going to do an operational move. And I am going to move this guy. I'm thinking this might be the best place, but the zone of control will stop them from breaking through, I think. Maybe we just go for Allenstein. And we dedicate ourselves to an offensive to the east. Make sure that we are constantly pushing east. And, of course, hoping to eventually do a counterattack up here and really put a hurting on the Russians. We know we can hurt them quite a lot now. Let's also move that artillery piece up so that if they try to attack over here in modern-day Poland, they're going to get a lot of defensive fire to keep them back. Again, I think we've done everything we can here. I hope we've put up the best fight possible. The one issue here is, of course, Staranov being open as well. And putting this unit there, I don't know how they're going to do. We could try it. It's definitely better than nothing. So we're going to move the Breslau detachment here. I don't think it's going to be too difficult for the Breslau attachment to break through, or for anybody to break through the Breslau attachment, I should say. But we can do, you know, the best for us right now, which is going to be just to hold Krakow, try to hold these areas. I'm also really worried about what's going on over here at the Pass of the Tsars. Of course, some of the enemy breaking through to Debrecen, and ultimately probably going on to break through to Vienna, or a number of different areas, Budapest as well. I think we need to get some of these guys out of here. So if anybody can operationally move, even if it's just a detachment, then I am immediately going to send him to Budapest. And hopefully any other units can also move to Budapest. In fact, even this German unit, I know it's just a German detachment, but I am going to send him also over here to the east. Let's get him to Grossfelden, and hopefully we move up to Debrecen and finish up any of the enemies he's got there, or any of the enemies stationed there. As for the good old Adriatic and the Mediterranean, man, we have not done well here. At the very least, we've kept a submarine here, an Italian submarine, causing some damage, but we need certainly some more subs to really hurt the enemy big time. Alright, let's just look around. I want to see... Really, comrade? I really want to see the research. So we're actually getting close to infantry warfare and infantry weapons for our Austro-Hungarians. This is obviously going to take a while, and as for our Germans, again, it's going to take a while. The thing we're closest to is trench warfare, since we've been getting a lot of excellent defenses with our trenches. And let's also take a look at diplomacy. I'm worried that giving those areas to the Italians is going to lower our Bulgarian diplomacy, but it looks like they are still moving towards us. We're, of course, really trying to bring them over to our particular side. And even the Ottomans can help bring the Bulgarians over. I didn't realize that. Yeah, we're putting just about everything into diplomacy here in the vain hope that we can bring the Bulgarians into the war very soon. I think they're an essential part of the war, and the thing is, if the Bulgarians join us, guys, we can easily move into Serbia and completely finish them off. But there's a big if there. A very, very big if. We've also got a few units ready to move into Bulgaria if need be, but I'm thinking it might be a better idea to transport these units, especially the one over here at Constantinople, down south. Going to be 22 to operational, move that unit, and of course continue attacking the British. We could also bring an additional unit to the Eastern Front to deal with the Russians, but I'm really mostly concerned about the British over here. Sorry, my parrot is going nuts, but we're going to have to get to... And I'm just hoping that we can break through here. Ooh, look at that. Even an additional bit of damage, why not? And maybe take Cairo. That could put some pressure on the British. Stop some of those oil reserves, some of that support that they have here in Africa. But will it work ultimately? I don't know. I think only time will tell. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed so far. Of course, we're going to keep playing. Hopefully, we have quite a long time still left to go. But I have to say, Tortuga is excellent at this game and definitely pushing my buttons in terms of just pretty much every single front. We may have finally stopped him on the Western Front, but he retook Belgium, which is enraging, of course. We need to do something on the Eastern Front. I think this is our only hope, is to try and make something happen over here in the East to really push back the rest of these Russian units. We'll have to wait and see if it happens. I don't know. I'm still tempted to attack this area, but of course with the defenses they have here, the fort defenses, it's going to be very tough. And I'm even tempted to push through here, but I'd prefer that one of his units gets over here. Then again, this is across the river from his units, so is it worth it? Man, maybe it is to try and weaken this guy. I'm going to do it. I know it's risky. I think worst case scenario, we can at least entrench here and just close the front line a little bit more for the enemy, make him work just a little bit harder to get into this area. It also wouldn't be a bad idea to get another German soldier in that gap. But can we really spare any more German soldiers? I don't think so. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care, and I hope to catch you on the next one.